My name is Lauren Kendall. Hi, everyone. I go to UIC here in Chicago, and I am a rising fourth year going into family medicine. I plan for my project to be working with a group called Be All Right, which is kind of an organization in its infancy, working with victims of domestic violence. It was founded by a professor that I used to work with, and she's also a family doctor and a great person, so I'm really excited about that. Great.
Hi everyone, my name is Arianne Cordon. I am a rising second year here at Feinberg. And for my project this summer, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working at a children's hospital on the south side based with a program called Health Leads. And what they do is they just serve, they provide resources, non-medical resources for families that come into the hospital. And I'll be kind of helping with the development and the implementation of the health desk. So it should be a lot of fun.
Nice. My name is Wanda Averhart, rising fourth year, University of Illinois, but I'm at the Urbana campus. Childhood obesity is the overall topic.
You need to be able to carve out something that you have done within the time frame that you can brand with your name, and we can say this is a product of Monash Mitchell. That's really critical for us in terms of getting funding renewed, and it's really critical for us in terms of making sure you have a good experience and the sites have valuable information. So in selecting projects, it's primarily a journey. It's a journey of your interests, what's appropriate for a site that you're going to be to, and what's doable within the time frame. We've modified it for this year to be 150 service hours. And your proposal form, which we need to take a look at, and also it then needs to be approved by your site. So when we first started this program, we had somebody who was doing a great project, decided on the site, but never talked to the administration and never really got formal approval for doing it. So we ended up having to provide information, make sure things were done, and rescue it. We don't want to rescue, we want to make sure that the site knows what you're doing. It's all within that. If there are HIPAA regulations, if you're dealing with patients, you need to go through all of the information and requirements for both the site as well as for your project. And you are responsible to work with your academic institutions if you're looking for credit for this. So any of the forms you need for that will also come through there. So in terms of program requirements, you do a community health project. It's a written report, 5 to 10 pages, and an oral presentation, 6 to 10 PowerPoint slides. What we're looking for is no different than any other report that you've done for a class. We want to know what's happening, how it's happening, what the documentation is, and then you can do appendices of other kinds of things. With the oral report, it is part of, there are two opportunities. If it's appropriate within your institution, we hope you'll provide the feedback to them, do a presentation with them, look at the stakeholders that you've worked with so that they have an opportunity to see what was started and where we are in terms of what you've done. When you're writing it, it's got to be clear. You need to do references. You need to do as many appendices as you like. It could be quotes, it could be all those kinds of things. So it has 3 pieces. Your intro, define the problem. Have you heard this before? Decide your method, and make your conclusions. So we're really looking for things that are manageable. And some of those projects have been ongoing with other institutions. But within that, you have to, if it is, you need to carve out something that you've done as a result of this that is unique to the funding that you are being provided. Your oral presentation within the institution will fit whatever their guidelines are. Your presentation for us will be part of the November 15th annual gala for National Medical Fellowships. And we have more than 900 alumni in the greater Chicago area, and we do an annual fundraising event. And prior to that, from 4 to 6, we do our Monash Mitchell Colloquium. So it's our 6 service scholars and the 4 residency scholars. It shouldn't be any more than 5 minutes. We are not looking in the oral presentation to have the exhaustive description. It's not a thesis, it's not theater. It needs to be interesting, it needs to be short, and it needs to be powerful. Carmen Velasquez from Olivia Health Center has agreed to do just a short intro and keynote for it. And the president of the Chicago Community Trust always comes, welcomes people, and gives you your checks. I believe this year the reports are due no later than the 1st of October. You will have to come to the Colloquium site and we'll let you know where that will be. We have a volunteer who does theater, and so she will rehearse you and make sure that you're within your 3 to 5 minutes. It's powerful, and she'll give you a few little tips on making a presentation go really well, and Annie and Josh will be there to make sure your videos work and your things are loaded and we don't have any problems with production. And then we'd also encourage you to invite classmates, friends, get the event posted at your institutions. There is a document that is the base foundation for why the Chicago Community Trust has funded these, and that is Chicago 2040. So read that document and see how your project fits into some of the goals and critical issues of Chicago 2040. One of the things that Chicago 2040 said was that there would be a critical need of primary care physicians in Chicago, and a lack of physicians who understood or could speak Spanish in an increasingly Hispanic population. It's a roundtable discussion. At the end of everybody's presentations, there's an opportunity for questions, but we stand between your presentations. The questions stand between that and food. So don't feel bad if you don't get a lot of questions. But you must attend. You have to attend, you have to present, you must meet the president of the Chicago Community Trust. We'd like to have information from you as you're doing things, as you get photos for both Facebook, blogs, NMF updates. And we have a LinkedIn group, join on that, Facebook, and Nate will be in touch with all of you about getting some updates, getting some photos, getting some things that are going to be useful to sharing this. So evaluation. You will get a scholar survey form, and you will also have to get response from your site in terms of what this meant, how it worked, whether or not they would accept a student again for another year. And the residency scholars, I would encourage you to keep tracking this program. This year we have 4 students. We have had 4 for the last 3 years. And it's primarily targeted to students who graduate from Chicago medical schools and match in a Chicago hospital and have high debt. So it's $25,000 of debt reduction. I would encourage you to, if you're going to try to match in Chicago, to please, keep in touch with the folks that recommended you now. We welcome your participation. We send the reports you'll send them to your community sites, we send them to the Chicago Community Trust, and we will be publishing them on NMF's website, along with all of the former presentations, so people will be able to go back and look at it as a resource library. And you've already been in touch with Melissa, who's your guide to most things. Just in terms of your planning, Melissa works Monday to Friday. She's in nursing school. And so if you need something on, she works Monday to Wednesday. If you need something on Thursday or Friday, you need to wait or you need to plan. This is our alumni book that we did for our 65th anniversary, which was last year. And if I count, there are about 900 alums in this greater area. And so what we're hoping to do, both through Annie's efforts and the gala, is bring together alumni and soon-to-be alumni so that you'll be able to be in touch with many of them. National Medical Fellowships was founded here in Chicago in 1946 when there were no residencies for African American physicians. And since then, we have funded 30,000 alumni. And we have distinguished alumni, as you will be. But it includes the current Surgeon General, Regina Benjamin, and former Surgeon General, Richard Carmona. We just announced in LA last week a new program, which you are also eligible as second and third year students to apply for. It's a primary care leadership program, and it has looks to encourage students to focus on primary care careers and some of the challenges of leadership. So once you submit everything, your written report, your presentation, your certification of your hours, all of the kinds of things there, you generate your final check. You get an initial check based on your budget and other things out of our office once you've completed the project form, provided the budget, and Melissa certifies that you've done the preliminary work. One of the critical issues for us is that what we do needs to make a difference. And so as you're, doing your projects, the goal is to make sure that it makes a difference for you and it makes a difference for the institution, and we build the kind of resources that can be used and replicated in other places. Everything that you need to know is also on your jump drives, along with examples and the presentations today and everything.
My name is Wanda Averhart, and I'm a rising fourth-year medical student at the University of Illinois in Urbana for my Monash Mitchell Service Scholarship. I plan to work around childhood obesity with the goal of developing prevention and treatment programs centered around parental interventions.
My name is Arianne Cordon. I am a rising second year at Feinberg School of Medicine, and this summer for my Monash Mitchell service project, I will be working in the South Side at a children's hospital. I will be developing and implementing a family help desk, which basically connects families who come in with resources in the community, such as housing, heating, food, just to address all their needs, not only their medical needs, but also those needs that indirectly affect their health.
My name is Kendall, and I'm a rising fourth-year medical student at the University of Illinois in Chicago. My Monash Mitchell Service Scholars Project is going to be working with the organization Be All Right. This group works with survivors of domestic violence in the Chicago area. And this is an important topic because domestic violence is something that's prevalent in all of our communities and something we should be addressing as healthcare workers.